Hey everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope everybody is doing great as usual. So a bit of a very interesting day. Something has happened that I'm sure none of us were even close to thinking would happen. So at this very moment, Bitcoin is down 6%, Ethereum is down 3.9. Ethereum Classic is actually very close to being pushed out of the top 10, which is very interesting as well. IOTA is down 12%. Every single coin of normal mention is in red except for one, and that is Bitcoin Cash, which for some reason is over 61% right now, and it's at 800 plus a coin. I think it's exactly at 807 at this very moment. So the question of the day is, what is causing Bitcoin Cash to rise so much and so quick? I told you guys before, this was when it first was released and people were kind of asking, should they get into it? And I told you that I expected the price to hit somewhere in the hundreds, like whether the high hundreds, I saw the hundreds happening. And I think the lowest that it went was 203 or 204. And I think I remember the next day I expected it to go back down, but this is when it started going back up. It was around 212 the next day, and it was floating around that number. We had a couple days where it was also floating around the 300s. I think that was even happening about 4 or 5 days ago. But for some reason, even when I woke up this morning, it was around 700 something, and now it's over 800. So I've been reading around online, obviously trying to figure out what is happening. Why is this going on? Because I'm sure everyone is very curious. So, I have read that, okay, so apparently, like I told you before, Bitcoin is obviously the main, the number one. It's Bitcoin, and then we have Bitcoin Cash, which is obviously the secondary one. A lot of people have been focusing all of their mining power and computing power to the original Bitcoin. This is what a lot of people have, they believe in this, and so and so and so. So it seems that one large group of miners is supplying over 90% of the mining power for Bitcoin Cash, meaning pretty much they alone are taking as much of it as they can. And it seems that yesterday, out of $2 billion in trade volume, 1.2 billion of that came from just 3 exchanges that were all in South Korea. This is Bithumb, Bithumb, Coin1, Coinone, and Korbit, Korbit. I believe I mentioned them before in some other video about things that were happening in Asia. So think about that. That is a huge amount of volume just from 3 places on one island. That is, so this is either indicating a huge amount of interest from, so this is either this place is now hugely invested in Bitcoin Cash and everyone has fallen in love with it, or there is some heavy market manipulation that is happening, which I'm going to say yes. I mean, the signs are kind of all there. I wonder what the price would be or where Bitcoin Cash would be at the moment if there wasn't one group of miners who are mining 90% of the coin, and if about 56% of all the trades that were happening from these 3 places. So I was saying, we were just talking about what was happening with Bitcoin last week, and everyone was kind of complaining that the price of Bitcoin was constantly going up while every other coin was going down. I was getting a lot of questions from friends and family and in the comment section if they should sell their other coins to buy into Bitcoin. And I said, no, it's a red flag when one coin is just going up. Normally, like, you guys have been in this for a while now. You've seen the charts and you've seen when Bitcoin normally goes up, every other coin subsequently follows. It's just how it's always been. Everything is pegged to the price of Bitcoin, and every single thing, when they see Bitcoin going up, everything else goes up, unless there's like some dramatically crazy, amazing news, like Bitcoin is now working with so and so and so, then we'll see, the price act accordingly. But normally when it's a green day, it's usually green on all the major coins because they tend to follow Bitcoin. So this is why I said last week, I was like, if you can, sell your Bitcoin because something is wrong right now. Something weird is happening. And it's exactly what's happening with Bitcoin Cash. It's literally siphoning the money from every other coin. And I think whatever fear was happening last week with Bitcoin, everybody not wanting to miss out, this is exactly what's happening with Bitcoin Cash. Tons of money you've seen it. Like, all the other coins are down between 3 to 9%, some even more than that. Some are 15% down because everyone is afraid of losing out on profits from Bitcoin Cash, which could be a huge mistake because it is, like I said, it seems like the price is being pumped, or if it's not being pumped, I'd be really shocked. But you can kind of even tell normally when normal things rise on a chart, there's normally, even if there is a one spike that kind of goes up, it kind of, not levels off, but it'll do that little jump up and down thing. I can't think of the actual word for it now. That's a problem. But we're not seeing that. We're just seeing constant spikes. You can see that the price starts to go down because it's probably not losing interest, but people just aren't trading as much, and then it continues to spike up and down. So if the price is being artificially pumped, which I think that it is, I think we could even see it go to 1,000 with either today or tomorrow, because it's already risen, I think, $50-$60 since I woken up. So this is something is happening with this coin, and the fact that we can track exactly where all the power and stuff is happening from one or two locations is very, very, it's not a very good sign. So like I always say, guys, just watch out. So Bitcoin transactions, I don't know if you guys have traded, bought, sold, or anything in Bitcoin within the last 2 or 3 days. I tried sending a small amount of Bitcoin to a friend, and it told me that the transaction fee was $20.12. And I looked at it and I thought that it was saying 20 cents, and I almost clicked send. And so this is another, people think that, okay, so bear with me on this one. A lot of people believe that there is some sort of shift also happening away from the original Bitcoin, simply because, I don't know if it's the news of the possible split that should be happening again in November, resulting in 3 Bitcoin, or what the exact thing is. But a lot of people have been noticing that the transaction fees are very, very high. When I tried to transact on Bitcoin, it was $20 for the transaction. When I tried to do it on Ethereum, I believe it was 12 cents, 10 cents or something. I remember it was very, very cheap. And apparently Bitcoin Cash also has insanely cheap transaction fees at the moment. So a lot of people could be possibly switching over, because Bitcoin is having way too many problems. I mean, the original Bitcoin, not Bitcoin Cash. So even though they were pretty much exactly the same during the time that the split occurred, a lot fewer people are giving their computing power to Bitcoin Cash, which has, if you look at the charts as well, it says how many circulating Bitcoin is circulating Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash has currently 20,000 fewer coins than the original Bitcoin, which is, kind of telling that so many people weren't really focusing on it, but that seems to really be changing. And another thing that I found while I was online to make things even a bit more hectic, this is also something, I mean, people don't understand the power of their words, and I guess I would include myself as well. Like I always tell you guys, oh, please do your own research. I try to tell you things happening in the market or things that are, occurring, but I don't know everything. I can't give you all the information that there is, so always do your own research. This seems to be another thing that has happened that is pushing people away from Bitcoin, because a lot of people are afraid of life. I don't know exactly what's going on. So BitPay released a statement today that it foresees more trouble for the original Bitcoin Core on August 20th, which is tomorrow, when SegWit activates. And this is something that I've seen from a lot of other people who are like heavily into Bitcoin and like do the tech and are coders and things like that. They do not believe in Bitcoin, and I don't, and that's not to say Bitcoin Cash. I think the entire project, they don't believe that it can actually make it anymore. I've heard this from a lot of friends who are coders. They think that it is slow and clunky and doesn't have much of a future. So once BitPay put out this statement, a lot of people now believe that they were in a way gearing up or kind of telling people to lean towards more Bitcoin Cash, because that could be the longer and more dominant chain in the future. Whether that is true, like I always say, guys, I don't know. Please make sure to do your own research. But I've been saying this for a while now. There have been a lot of issues with Bitcoin, and it's not even like it's not the only coin anymore. We know this for a fact. We have seen that the other coins are quicker. Their transaction fees are a lot lower. Other coins are being adopted more heavily from other companies. Like even like when I talk about Ethereum, even when I talk about Ripple, anything like there's so many things. Imagine if all of these companies were joining on to the original Bitcoin, but they're not. When you hear about people accepting Bitcoin, is usually they're accepting it as a payment method on their online shops or some other place. they're not trying to actively integrate it into their systems. That's not to say that it has not happened, but it's not happening as quickly as it is for other coins. So I don't know, guys. I mean, it's really up in the air at this point. Like I said, this could be just one gigantic push on the price of Bitcoin Cash, which I believe that it is. The price is going up way too high. It's been 2 or 3 days and the price is already over 800 from 240 something a couple days ago. That is kind of a red flag, but in the end, in the long run, who knows what it's going to be, especially if we do have 3 Bitcoin by the end of this year. It is going to be very interesting to see where we are next summer with all these coins, exactly what's going to happen. There's a lot coming up for Ripple this year. There's a lot coming up for Ethereum as we get closer into winter, especially with Bitcoin in November. So it's going to, I wonder exactly where we're going to be next summer, guys. It's all very, very interesting. As always, guys, once again, I know this is like my 5th time saying this. Please make sure to do your own research before you start selling and or buying anything. I personally believe that something is wrong with Bitcoin Cash right now, and the price should eventually go down. If it doesn't, then, I mean, yeah, what have you. All right, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys have a great day as always. Hope you guys are investing properly and making money accordingly. And I'll talk to you all soon. Hope you guys have a nice day. See you. Hey everyone, thank you very much again for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys would like to help me and the channel, there are ways to do so in the description below. Thank you very much and talk to you guys soon.